Hey guys, it's Troy and we are here in central London with another video, this time talking about the decision making process. Okay, now I just shot this whole bloody video and I'm having to reshoot it now because there are a bunch of Scotland fans who are in London right at the moment because there's a big football game going on later between Scotland and England, and they are all very merry and festive and enjoying the occasion. And one of the gentlemen came up and he came into the video and we were having a little bit of a chat, which I thought, this is cool, this is going to be good content. And then he said, can you please not put the video up? So in due deference to that gentleman, who was very friendly, I won't do that. So I'm going to reshoot the video, and maybe it's a good thing, right? Because actually I've just walked onto a side street. It's slightly quieter here. We might still get some interruptions because there are a lot of people out and about, but we're just off Piccadilly Circus now. And I was in a bit of a bad mood before. I was in a bit of a, how can I put it, sort of like gloomy mood. And you can see the weather here. The weather is crap. It's meant to be the middle of summer. We've had 2 days of rubbish weather. Feeling a little bit gloomy and kind of assessing my life, I suppose. Like we all, get into that mood where we're sort of thinking about things, we're assessing our life and everything else. And this brought me around to wanting to shoot this and just give a bit of an impression of what I'm thinking at the moment. And I suppose the topic really is, like I say, decision making, because you will never make a perfect decision. I will never make a perfect decision, okay? It's not possible, I don't believe, to do that. The best thing really that we can do is to make the best decision that we think is the right thing to do at the time, all right? And that is about it, because we don't have a controlled experiment going on here. You can't make a decision about your career or your relationship or your life or what you're going to do next and then go down that route and then also know exactly what would have happened if you'd taken the other route, right? Obviously it just doesn't work like that. We're not in some like sliding doors movie. There's no way of knowing what would have happened if you'd taken that other path. But that doesn't stop us, because if your mind's anything like mine, and it's a tricky bastard, you could spend hours thinking, but what if I'd done another thing? What if things were different? What if I had taken that different path? What if I'd evaluated this situation differently, all right? And there's also, because we are quite, how can I put it? Because we are quite privileged in this society, we have this idea that we have innumerable choices, right? And even if you make a choice and you don't like the outcome of that choice, that decision, you can sort of think, well, you can try it, and if it doesn't work out, then you can always go back to the original thing, or you can go back to what you were doing before, no problems, all right? We have this idea that there's never going to be a problem. We can do what the hell we like with our lives. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to view it, the truth is that some things are irreversible. The truth is that sometimes you will take a path in life, which might be with a job, it might be with a relationship or whatever, and that's it, right? I mean, there is no way to go back. You are now within the new reality, and that's just how it is. And like I say, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Sometimes that might be a good thing, because you're going to get good and bad either way, right? Whichever path you take, you're going to get good experiences come out of that, and you're going to get negative experiences, and you may get some regrets. And sometimes we're afraid to move forward with something, aren't we? Because we're worried about, well, what happens if I regret it? And that really is a very bad way to live life, because we shouldn't not do things because of fear, all right? We shouldn't allow fear to hold us back. But at the same time, life is difficult. It sucks, right, sometimes. And there are regrets. There are times when we feel sad. There are times when we feel nostalgic, and we will never really know if we did choose that right path. We will never really know if we did make the correct decision or not. I mean, what is the correct decision, right? We'll never really know that. So what is the advice that comes out of this? What is the actionable takeaway? Well, I'm not sure really, I have to say. I mean, I think it's acceptance ultimately is the key. I think acceptance ultimately is the only recourse that we have for any of this stuff. Sometimes you choose a path and things change in your life, and you have to accept that. You know, come what may, if you are then unhappy somewhat about what comes out as a result of that, but you can't change it, then you need to accept it. And this is the serenity prayer, isn't it? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And some things really we can't change, and we have to accept that. And maybe there are other things that we can change, but we have to have the wisdom, we have to ask for the wisdom to change those things that we can change. But if you can't change it, there it is. You know, you have to accept it, and that can be tricky, that can be difficult. Acceptance isn't easy, but it is really the key to living a more happy and fulfilled life. So yeah, I mean, don't shy away from decisions. I shouldn't shy away from decisions. You know, we have to make them. We have to make choices. Sometimes there's a fork in the road, and you can only really go one way or the other. Life is difficult, as the Scott Peck book, The Road Less Travelled, begins with that sentence. Life is difficult, and there are trade-offs, there are compromises, and, you know, sometimes we need to choose between two things that look equally good or equally bad. And then whichever side we come down on, we have to live with the fact that that was the choice that we made. But we shouldn't kid ourselves that it's easy, and I don't think we should beat up on ourselves if we do feel those feelings of regret or nostalgia or sadness or whatever. You know, it's particularly as guys, right? Because, you know, guys, we feel like we've got to be impervious to any sort of emotion or impervious to any sort of feeling, and it's just not true. It's just not true. You know, sometimes things are a little bit gloomy. Sometimes things are a little bit trying, you know, and it's okay. Tomorrow's another day. Moods and emotions do change, which is something that I had to learn. You know, I always wanted to regulate my feelings. That's why I would drink a lot, because I wanted to use the alcohol to make myself feel a certain way all of the time. You know, if I was feeling bad, it would cheer me up. If I was feeling really happy, it would make me feel more happy. And if things were a bit boring, it would bring the party, okay? So you're using that substance, alcohol, you are endeavoring to regulate your mood, okay? And that is not always desirable, and it's not always possible. And the problem with it is that you wake up the next morning and you just feel like shit again. And what I have learned, as I say, having come out of that period in my life, is that moods actually do shift. You know, one day you're not feeling so good. A couple of days later, you're feeling great, on top of the world. The mood has shifted. We don't have our emotions with us at the same frequency the whole time, forever. It just isn't like that, okay? Things do shift, things do change, but it takes time, and we need acceptance, and we need patience as well in order to get through some of those troughs, I suppose. Anyway, I know this has been a little bit esoteric today, but I hope you got something from it. I've enjoyed making it. This is just some of the stuff that's been on my mind over the last 24 hours or so. I am going to go and grab something to eat now before another merry Scotsman comes into the frame and wrecks the video. So do hit subscribe to the channel, do hit the notifications bell so you see when the new videos are coming out, and do grab my collection of 11 books about dating, the dating marketplace, my adventures within it, plus actionable advice. It's called Renegade Dating Blueprint, and it is on the link which I will share below with this video. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.